So hello friends, today we will discuss the exponential Fourier series. And how this series is derived from trigonometric Fourier series. So trigonometric Fourier series, we know that we used to calculate their ft, which was the summation of n from 0 to infinity an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus bn sin 2 pi n f naught t, where these components an was representing the even components inside ft and this was used to represent the odd components inside ft. So and correspondingly an was calculated as 2 over t integration over t ft into cos 2 pi n f naught t dt and sin bn was 2 over t integration over t ft sin 2 pi n f naught t. These things we have calculated and were the part of trigonometric Fourier series. Now instead of calculating this an and bn separately, what we are doing, we are calculating a single coefficient called as cn, and this cn will be used to reconstruct the ft. So we can write cn into e to the power j 2 pi n f naught t. We are using here Euler's identity. Euler's identity, we know that it is e raised to the power j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. So as in trigonometric Fourier series, this ft was consist of sine and cos terms, that is an into cos and bn into sine. So this cn will constitute an and bn. We will substitute some value for cn, which will be combination of an and bn, and this cos term and this sine term, they will be the part of this exponential term. So let us see what is cn. So cn can be defined as what we have defined earlier was an and bn, and the form for an and bn was like this 2 over t ft. So we are defining cn just like this, that is 2 over t ft, but instead of cos and sine, as we are combining an and bn to form cn, how we are combining we'll see. First, for the sake of time, we'll use exponential term there, so as an and bn both components could be integrated into single cn. So let us define cn as, and let whether we have to check also that they are equal or not. So cn is equal to, let us define 2 over t integration over t ft exponential of minus j 2 pi n f naught t dt. Now if you observe this term can be written in terms of cos something minus j sin something will be 2 pi n f naught t. So let us write this integration 2 over t ft cos 2 pi n f naught t minus j sin 2 pi n f naught t, of course dt. So if we distribute it, so it becomes 2 over t integration of ft cos 2 pi n f naught t dt minus j 2 over t integration over t ft sin 2 pi n f naught t. So if you observe this is nothing but an, and this term, it is nothing but bn. Of course j will be there. So the conclusion is cn, it is the combination of an and bn, like an minus j bn. So one advantage we are having with the cn is that the an, which we are representing the even components, and bn, which was used to represent the odd components, So if suppose Cn is 5 plus 2j, so we can easily say that just by observation that 5 is the even component inside Ft and 2 is the odd component inside Ft. So instead of getting added these even and odd components, they are separated. So let us substitute the value of Cn in Ft equation. So Ft defined was summation n from 0 to infinity. Cn value is an minus jbn, and we have defined e to the power j2 pi n f naught t. So let us substitute cos plus j sine for this term. So it will be n from 0 to infinity an minus jbn cos 2 pi n f naught t plus j sine 2 pi n f naught t. Let us distribute this, multiply these brackets. So we'll get an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus j into an sine 2 pi n f naught t minus jbn cos 2 pi n f naught t minus j multiplied by j square minus j square will be plus 1. So plus 1 into bn sine 2 pi n f naught t, which is nothing but equal to Ft. Now if we observe, Ft is a real quantity, but here we are having two j quantities. We don't want this. The other quantities were an cos 2 pi n f naught t and bn sin 2 pi n f naught t. These were the original components which were present in the Ft. If you observe the Ft equation, so an cos 2 pi n f naught t and bn sin 2 pi n f naught t, these are the actual Ft's, the components of Ft's. But in this equation, these two j terms, we want to get rid of these two j terms. So what we are doing, we are adding the complex conjugate of all these terms. So when we add complex conjugate, means we are keeping real terms as it is, that is we are writing an cos something 2 pi n f naught t. I am writing it shortly. Then we have to write minus j, because in complex conjugate we are inverting the sign of, changing the sign of complex terms. So minus j an sine something 2 pi n f naught t. Then we are writing plus j bn cos something. Then we are writing plus real terms, sign will be same. For complex term, sign will be inverted. So it is real term. So plus bn sine something. Now if we add these components, these j terms will get cancelled, and result will be an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus bn sin 2 pi n f naught t plus bn sin 2 pi n f naught t. So at the cost, we have cancelled these j terms at the cost of adding these two terms again. So it becomes n from 0 to infinity, it becomes twice an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus twice bn sin 2 pi n f naught t. So these two can be taken outside. So we can write an cos 2 pi n f naught t plus bn, simply bn sin 2 pi n f naught t. So this is our original Ft. Only the two component is added when we add the complex conjugate. So what we can do to avoid this two, what Cn we have defined, Cn, the definition of Cn was an minus jbn. So either we can divide this by 2, or instead of dividing it by 2, what we can change, we can change the definition of Cn, that is an minus jbn divided by 2. So automatically these two will cancel because the definition of Cn will be an minus jbn by 2. So our Cn value earlier defined was 2 over t integration over t ft e to the power minus j 2 pi n f naught t. This was the Cn value. So when we are defining Cn an minus jbn by 2, so automatically this, due to this 1 by 2, this will get cancelled and we'll have the definition of Cn as simply 1 over t integration over t ft e to the power minus j 2 pi n f naught t dt. So this is our definition of Cn, and the definition of ft will be n from 0 to infinity Cn e to the power j 2 pi n f naught t. But this was not sufficient because this was having j terms. So what we did earlier, we added, if you see, we added the complex conjugate to get rid of j terms. So this complex conjugate, we have to write it separately, that is n from 0 to infinity Cn complex conjugate e to the power, j is there, so instead of j we have to write minus j for complex conjugate 2 pi n f naught t. Now to make it more generalized, what we can do, we can have one observation that Cn complex conjugate is nothing but 1 over t integration over t ft e to the power j 2 pi n f naught t, whereas C of minus n will be 1 over t integration over t ft e to the power minus j 2 pi and is minus n f naught t dt. Of course dt will be there. So this minus minus will become plus, so we can write simply plus j 2 pi n f naught t. So the conclusion is the Cn complex conjugate is equal to C minus n. So here this complex conjugate term we can write only by replacing n to the negative n. So for that we can substitute the limit from 0 to minus infinity simply. So we can write ft as summation n from minus infinity to plus infinity, the minus infinity to minus 1 limit, sorry, it will be minus 1 to, we can write here minus 1 to minus infinity, and then we can delete this negative complex conjugate sign. So ft is n from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn e to the power j 2 pi and f naught t. In this, the limits from minus infinity to minus 1, that will be covered for complex conjugate term, because C of minus n is equal to C of Cn of conjugate. So this limit, and from 1 to infinity or 0 to infinity will be our first term, that was original term Cn e raised to power j 2 pi n f naught t. So in this way we can reduce this equation and we can write in short like this. Now generally we tend to write ft as a separate C0 plus, and we are writing n from minus infinity to plus infinity, but n0 we have put it separately, so we can write n is not equal to 0, so because C0 is here, so Cn e to the power j 2 pi n f naught t. So C0 value will be simply a0 minus jb0 divided by 2 We know from the previous discussion in the trigonometric series that b0 is 0. Therefore, c0 will be simply a0 by 2, and a0 is simply 1 over t ft integration over t ft dt that we have calculated in the earlier video. So now, to summarize, we can write the exponential Fourier series as ft a0 by 2, which is nothing but c0, plus summation from n to minus infinity to plus infinity, where n is not equal to 0, cn e to the power j2 pi n and f naught t. Two pi n f naught t. So this is the value of ft, where a0 is 1 over t integration over t ft dt, and cn is 1 over t integration over t ft e to the power minus j2 pi and f naught t dt. So this completes the exponential Fourier series and how it is derived from its trigonometric counterpart. In the next video, we will discuss the different numericals and problems on exponential as well as on trigonometric Fourier series. Thank you.